Good evening and welcome to Media Academy News. I'm Lawrence Kirkwood. Tonight we focus on the annual horror fest of Halloween. Every year on the 31st of October, many people celebrate this spooky event. It's where the barriers of this world and the next blur.
Halloween derives from Hallowmas, which means holy evening. In 270 AD, the Irish Celts dressed in costumes to ward off spirits from the dead. The new Bishop of St Albans, Reverend Dr. Alan Smith, shares his opinion.
Although it's got connections with what we do around this time of the year, because we have what's called All Souls Day, where we have a particular festival where we give thanks for those who've died and who are no longer with us. And then, of course, the next, just beyond that, we have All Saints Day, which is a great festival on the 1st of November, where we give thanks to God for all the people who have gone before, who we now believe are with God and are his saints. We're all destined to be with God.
A religious take there from the Bishop of St Albans. I'm Lydia Maddix, looking also at a big aspect of Halloween, the commercial side. Billions are spent worldwide as businesses use horror to make money. Amy, Kashmira and Tony investigate.
Shops in Luton are horrible at the moment, packed with scary stuff on sale for dressing up people, homes, rooms and even gardens. Though we've got a recession, people are still spending. Views of Halloween vary, so we went to find out what shoppers thought in Luton's mall.
Do you like to celebrate Halloween?
Of course I do, yeah.
Not really.
What do you mean? What do I think about it?
What do you like about Halloween? Do you celebrate it at all?
Yeah, like dressing up.
I'm not a great fan of Halloween.
It's the dressing up aspect of Halloween which seems to appeal to people, particularly to the young who see the fun side of it.
Well, we came to Luton today to find some outfits, so probably vampire and and a pirate.
Well, I have a few outfits, but every single year I buy a new one.
Yeah.
So every year I try to get a better and better outfit. I just love dressing up and getting different costumes, makeup, everything possible. This year I've got prosthetics. It's like a bite of a vampire.
There's a fine line between fun and fear. Antisocial behaviour is something the police are warning of this Halloween. They say children should go with adults, cross roads safely and stay in areas which are well lit. Unmarked police cars will be on patrol throughout the festivities, as some revellers do get out of hand.
We used to do things like trick or treat.
Yeah.
You see? And we used to hope people used to ask for trick, because then we could get up to mischief, like powder, eggs and loads of other stuff on front doors. A really bad one we used to do, and I'll say we, the group of people that I was with, we used to get, how can I explain this? Dog stuff in a brown paper bag, a firework in the brown paper bag, and then knock on someone's door and put it on the doorstep. So when they open the door, a big loud bang of mess.
As a child, my dad always said it was begging. You know, you don't need to go trick and treating, especially if you've got things indoors at home, and he wouldn't let us do it at all. So we don't let the grandchildren or the children do it, because we say the same thing. We don't knock on the doors every day of the year, so why knock it on one day?
So it's not all fun and games. Halloween is the scariest period of the year, at a time when ghosts and ghouls come out to haunt us. But it's deeper than just costumes. What makes us subconsciously scared?
Looking into the psychological background of fear, sins and darkness reveals how complex this subject can be. To do this, we interview clinical psychologist and film theorist Luke Hockley, who believes there are many interpretations to Halloween than what meets the eye. Why do we like the thrill of being scared?
Well, that's a good question. I think there's something fascinating and exciting about experiencing the forbidden, about experiencing something that we're not allowed to experience in our everyday lives. It doesn't matter where we find that, it doesn't matter in what sort of part of life it is, but when it comes to thrills and spills, then it takes us very close to death. It can take us close to the edge of things. It takes us right away from the everyday and the ordinary in our lives. And so whether it's on a roller coaster ride, which could, it seems, end in death to us, it can be truly terrifying, or whether it's something kind of like Halloween, it gives us a chance to experience something that's a little bit outside of the ordinary, a little bit different to the everyday.
What in the brain triggers fear?
Well, it's a question as to whether it is anything in the brain that triggers it, or whether we have a neurological reaction to something that we see, whether we have a physiological response. So something, we recognise something as being potentially dangerous, and our brain gives us two basic options at that moment. We can either face it and fight it and deal with it, or we can escape from it and run away from it. And part of the pleasure of something like Halloween is that it holds us in that middle ground between the two. It's not actually going to kill us, but it's still a little bit scary.
We wanted to know what makes you tremble, and here's what you had to say.
Films with snakes in. I don't like snakes.
Spiders.
Why?
Because of their hairy legs.
Ghosts and any scary movie.
Loads of things. Fire, snakes, and Halloween especially.
To look at modern traditions of Halloween, we went to Cineworld and spoke to Daisy Johnson, who tells us about the role of the cinema. Be aware of some of the shocking stories.
I think this year being on a Saturday, it's obviously more beneficial because we can run the late shows, which tends to bring more people in, especially for the scary films.
Who are the main demographic that watch movies at Halloween?
Well, I don't really know. I think predominantly students. University of Bedfordshire seems to bring a lot of students, media people that want to see the latest scary effects. Obviously this year we have a couple of films that are being especially released for Halloween. Jennifer Body being one. They're doing advanced showings on Saturday because it's Halloween. The film actually is not released till the following week, so you know.
Do you organise any special events for Halloween, for example, costume staff, decorations, or special Saturday morning films for children?
Yes, this year we're doing the Spiderwick Chronicles and we are playing special scary games inside the screen at 10 a.m. One of my staff is coming specially dressed up with her little face being painted. So yeah, we tend to do a lot of fun stuff, especially if it's on Halloween for the kids.
What draws people into the cinema at Halloween?
The scary films, I think. A couple of years ago, we ran a spook in one of our screen number 6. We showed a scary film at midnight, and that's according to the theory. It's a ghosted screen, so it sold out the showing. And if you look up on the internet, actually there is a lot of stories about screen number 6 in Luton Cineworld and the ghost stories that go with it.
Why do you think people like being scared?
I don't know, it beats me. I don't like horror films. I don't get them, but it seems to have its own following, and a lot of people do come to the cinema, especially for the scary films. In Luton, the demographics, the type of people, all the scary films always do really well. Saw that on Friday and Saturday night, and when we released My Bloody Valentine in 3D, it sold out for weeks and weeks, and so obviously people do like scary films, and I think if you top it up with a 3D effect, it obviously makes it a bit more scary because you have daggers flying and blood splashing everywhere, and obviously makes it a bit more real.
And what's the scariest Halloween film that's been released that you know
of? Blair Witch probably. Blair Witch, the first one, when it came out, it was open for Halloween, and it was very, very busy, and a lot of people came out. There was, in some of the cinemas, there was a guy who had a heart attack from the film. So it just shows you that some people obviously can't handle scary films, go into the cinema and then come out all pale and fainting. So yeah, it has happened in the past.
Have it. Halloween, light and dark, fun and fear, ghosts and ghouls.
Be careful. You never know who or what is lurking round the corner.
Good night. or should we say, bad night.